Here are 3 most ridiculous things that killed or considerably stalled my transactions. Number 1 is the most ridiculous of all of them. The crack in the little 3 inches by 3 inches window in the front door. The appraiser came, he did the appraisal, and he wrote in the appraisal, we cannot close until that little crack in the little window is going to be fixed. Because according to him, you could see the crack from the street. Believe me when I tell you, you couldn't even see the door that well from the street because it was hidden behind the garage. But the seller had to do it. The seller's attorney didn't understand it. We're going back and forth with the seller. The seller's attorney got impatient. He filed time of the essence. The seller finally agreed and replaced that little window, and we were able to close. Number 2, that's extremely interesting. Usually when you are dealing with a mortgage transaction, 1 or 2 weeks before the closing, the buyer has to get a home insurance on the property, otherwise you won't be able to close without it. In that particular case, the insurance company sent some kind of inspector who just did the drive-by and also checked the property from above by using a drone. And they prepared a report saying that the whole roof needs to be redone because it's crinkled, wrinkled. They use some kind of this expression. Mind you, we had the inspection done on the property. The roof didn't cause any damage. There were no leaks in the roof. It didn't need attention because although it didn't look nice, it was fully functioning and not causing any damage. But this insurance company was so adamant about the seller or the buyer, they didn't care who, to replace the roof. Nobody wanted to do it because it's a lot of money, and the deal fell through. Ridiculous. And number 3, one time I was working with a seller in one of the towns in New Jersey. To be able to sell a property in New Jersey, the seller has to get the CO and fire inspection from the town. This inspector came and he told us that to obtain the CO, the seller has to repair one of the pieces of the sidewalk, which were actually sticking out a little bit above the ground level, which is understandable. It's a safety hazard. I understand this. But what was causing that was actually the big tree, like a 100 years old tree, that its roots were interfering with the sidewalk and were causing the sidewalk piece to come up. So not only did the town request my seller to repair the sidewalk, which was already a few $1,000s, they requested from him to remove the tree. And the thing was that that tree was between the sidewalk and the street, which belonged to the town. So the seller had to go through the whole application process to be able to remove the tree that didn't belong to him, and it cost him a lot of money to do it. He did it only because he really wanted to sell and move out of state, but it really left a bad taste in his mouth. And mind you, he lived in this town 20-something years. That was really unfair what they did to him. So these are the 3 most ridiculous things that happened. Things like that come up sometimes, and we have to deal with them as we go.